Thank you, Mayor Calloway. Can you hear me okay tonight?
Yes, sir, we can. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for declaring Women's History Month in Hillsboro. It's a great follow-up to Black History Month. So I wanted to introduce you to, I think, a woman who's really a Hillsboro superwoman, super person. And I came across her information in handling her granddaughter's estate at the end of Southeast 7th on Jackson Bottom, where they lived for years. And the person I'm talking to you about tonight is Mrs. Anna Marsh Wells. And in the upper left corner, if you can see the graphic there, I can't tell if you guys can see the photos. Can you?
Oh, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
So the upper left panel is the 1924 Hill High Yearbook, the 10th edition, and this little piece was in the front cover when I first met this woman's personality and her history. Dr. Peter Bosco had written this about her, thanking her, making her sort of Women of the Year within their program, within the school district, dedicated the 10th volume of the Hill High to her. She served on was one of the first women, if not the first, to serve on the Hillsboro School Board. Moving to the right, you're going to see her in the middle in her later years at her home on 710 Southeast 7th. This is the home of the Western Farm Workers. The Stone House, as it's known, was built by her and her husband, you see to the left with the striped tie. That is C.E. Wells, who was active in city council over the years, and he brought that family here in 1915, opened the Hillsboro Telephone Company, and gave Hillsboro telephone lines. On the far right, the gentleman with the scrunched up face, who's kind of a dapper dandy in the 20s, is Dr. Charles O. Wells, co-founder and one of the 17 docs that founded Tuolity, who would later die as chief of staff in 1954. Mrs. Marsh Wells had 10 children. Bottom left corner, she ran for a representative state of Oregon in 1928. The panel there in the white is from the city's website. You can see she made city council in 1937. In 1939, she was president or chair of the city council, the first woman to ever achieve that, and she died in office July of 1940. Can we have the next slide up, please? And let me know when it's up, because I can't see it.
It's up, Dirk.
Okay.
It's newspaper clippings
Yeah,
and their house.
Upper left corner is her home in the 1920s. Still stands today as per the bottom left. A great home that raised a lot of great people. 4 doctors came from her family. And this woman was a 99.5% academic person in through her educational years, born in 1898 in Iowa, was a valedictorian, and then when you just scan what she did in that middle panel, she was member of the Hillsboro City Council for 4 years, first term having started June 1 of 1937, Jan of 37. She belonged to Eastern Star, Past Matrons Club, Pythian Sisters, Past Chiefs Club, Business and Professional Women's Club, Daughters of the Nile, David Hill Chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution. She was organizing region of that organization, American Legion Auxiliary, and was past president of Hillsboro Coffee Club, which in those days was the most powerful club in the city. She served 8 years on the State Federation of Women's Clubs.
We are over time now.
Okay, so this is an outstanding woman. We celebrate her existence here in Hillsboro and look forward to doing more through the Hillsboro Historical Society. Thank you all for learning a little bit about Anna Marsh Wells.
Thank you, Dirk.
Thank you,
I
Mayor.
love the history lessons that you bring to us. Fascinating, and so thank you.
Something to remember. Thank you, Mayor.
And we look forward to you coming back in 2 weeks. How's
Okay.
that?
All right, let's do it.
Okay. And I don't believe that Melanie